Hi there, welcome to Isle and Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Leo energy. And we're going to do this 10 card spread, and we're going to see what different actions people are taking in their life. Some people. And it might be a situation, particularly that people who might be a Leo sun sign or have significant Leo placements in their life deal with. But we all tap into Leo energy, and at the high vibe end, well, let's start with the shadowy end. At the shadowy end, we can just be more manipulated by our more worldly egoic nature. And we got some growing and healing and maturing to do. And, hopefully if we learn some lessons in life and temper our more worldly egoic nature, we temper that nature within ourselves and we grow up and mature ourselves and learn that love is the best energy to be in, and love is to be just and fair, and you're supposed to treat other people the way you like to be treated, and be authentic and loving and encouraging to people, and go enjoy your life. And some people, they're not there yet, so they'll be handling this energy differently. So at the bottom of this card I view as the overarching reason for the reading, which is the Five of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy, which is kind of like our philosophy of life. Do we have a lack mentality? Well, until we're willing, over here we have the Five of Cups, until we get tired of our lack mentality and learn to love ourselves and believe in ourselves and be a loving and encouraging and supportive person within ourselves, that's kind of growing up and maturing ourselves in the King of Cups and the Empress energy. The feminine figures can talk about how we think and feel. The masculine figures can talk about the action that we're taking in the world. Emotionally, to get balance within ourselves, to love ourselves, to offer love to ourselves. But maybe some people, I think it's a hard lesson learning to love yourself and treat yourself in a loving way, in a just and fair way. Love yourself like you wish other people would love you. That's a hard lesson to learn, and some people haven't learned that yet. And so then we can stay in more codependent energy where we're looking to the world and to outside of ourselves for other people to love us and validate our worth and value. But if we're kind of looking to the world, to other people for them to love us, you can see where that can be a little bit where it's kind of more about us, right? And of course, when we're in that energy, we don't view it that way, but it's just a little bit more about us because we haven't learned to love ourselves. So there's some people in the world who still, up here we have the Knight of Wands, which going to go repeat an old pattern instead of working through the Five of Cups. The Knight of Wands is Sagittarius energy, about higher learning and education, but in our philosophy of life, we have to even be motivated and inspired. The Knight of Wands is fire sign energy, which is about what motivates and inspires us. We have to be inspired to look at that. The Five of Cups can talk about past pain and heartbreak. We've all grown up with people, and we start out the reading with the Eight of Pentacles and the Tower. We've all worked with people that we could have been motivated and inspired to be in a relationship with, and then it didn't work out the way we wanted. We felt left out in the cold, and some people could be going through that right now. But sometimes, with the High Priestess, can be, instead of listening to our intuition, the Tower is trying to get us to see the truth. That either we're acting in ways that are kind of driving our life off into the ditch, or we're kind of in some friendships, relationships, or a job with some people who are operating from a more shadowy energy of their own. And are we willing to see the truth of it? If not, our intuition is there, kind of like our higher self. We can be loving and encouraging to other people, but are we going to stay in denial about this card that we might harness this energy differently? What is it? The Moon. The Moon is Pisces energy, which can be that sometimes we get in relationships with people and they can present themselves in high vibe Virgo energy of the Eight of Pentacles. Nope, I've moved on from the past. Nope, I'm not working with those ways of being or those people anymore. And I've learned lessons in life, and I'm not indulging in things of the past or my more worldly nature of being more about myself or indulging in things to make me feel better. I have put in this work and effort to be free, because the difference between the Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles is the Three of Pentacles, which is Capricorn energy, and shadowy Capricorn is the devil. So there was people I was working with, and I've kind of, Virgo energy can talk about seeing the truth, that with some of the people I worked with in the past, that, it didn't work out. I accept the truth of it, because Virgo energy is about accepting the truth, and that I'm not operating from that foundation or with those people anymore. I have moved on. I have let that go, and I'm moving forward in life differently. But anybody can present themselves any way they want to in the world. Some people present themselves as being more emotionally mature, self-insightful, have learned more lessons than they really have, and they really haven't. And some of them, high vibe energy, which would be high vibe, all of these zodiac signs have a more high vibe energy about them that we can align with, or a more worldly or a more shadowy. And some people are just looking to go get a new job or a new friendship or a new relationship because something else didn't work out. But they haven't changed. The fives talk about change. Did we deal with the truth of that situation? Have we seen the truth? Did we learn the lesson we were meant to learn? Did we heal and grow and mature ourselves? Did we maybe see where some other people needed to heal and grow and mature themselves, or that's why the relationship didn't work out because we were the one who needed to heal and grow and mature ourselves? And some people are like, nope, that didn't work out. And the Eight of Pentacles can be about working together with other people. Nope, that didn't work out. I don't want to deal with the truth. I don't want to heal or grow and mature myself. I might not want to see the truth of that person. I might go back and get in a relationship with someone who's just like that. I might go get in another relationship and act the same way I did in the last relationship. Virgo and the Tower are about willing to see the truth. But some people harness that energy in a shadowy way because they're more invested in kind of indulging their more egoic nature, immature nature, don't want to see the truth, might have a lack mentality, might be more about themselves or things of the world or things they want to go indulge in to make themselves feel better. And they don't see that it's not conducive to relationships moving forward in love. Or maybe they're just not very just and fair. The Empress energy is Libra and Taurus, and Libra is represented by the scales of justice. We can all be more immature. We can all not have learned how to love ourselves. We can all be inspired by the world to make our life about these things of the world, indulge in these things of the world. And we've all been there, right? And we all thought it was just and fair. And there's some people that are still living their life whatever way they're living it. And some of the people are at different age groups, so we kind of understand that. We've been there, done that. But then sometimes we can meet people our own age, and they're acting like bratty, bully, immature, gossipy, backstabbing, unjust, unfair, like junior high kids, and they're like 45, it's just like, oh my gosh, So, some people right now could be working in a relationship that they don't want to be in, but people can want to get out of it for different reasons. Some people have been loving and encouraging, and they have put a lot of work and effort into a job, a friendship, or a relationship. But the other people want to keep moving forward from their philosophy of life, which is kind of maybe not dealing. The moon can talk about their fears, it can talk about things we kind of keep buried beneath the surface. The moon and Pisces energy can talk about our dreams and what we'd maybe really like to go do if we loved and believed in ourselves and had more hope and faith and belief in our dreams and expanded our perception of ourselves and the world around us and what we believed is possible. But some people reject all of that. And some people, I don't know, don't want to listen to their intuition because Pisces, the moon card represents Pisces, but the moon also rules Cancer energy, two water sign energies about connecting in with your emotions and your intuition and love of self and love of others. Some people fear love. I don't want to do love. That's scary. And the Nine of Swords is Gemini energy about our dualistic free will nature. And some people are like, there's a lot of things I can like about life and like about relationships. But that last one, because there's a maximum of 10 in every suit, love, that's kind of the stickler. Because if I were to do love, I'd have to, the Five of Pentacles talks about detaching from an old way of viewing life or living life. And the Five of Pentacles moves away from the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is about holding on to this certain way of living life or viewing life, not really wanting to open up, which can be, I don't really want to open up myself to other people. I don't want, I feel safe and secure here. I want to keep doing life the way I've done it. And so some people think I can get in relationships with people. I can go get a job. If one doesn't work out, I'll go get in a different one. But they might hide the fact the moon can be about trying to confuse people about the truth. Because the moon is different than the sun, right? And the sun is about being more authentically yourself, being authentic, illuminating the truth. And some people are like, I'm going to hide the fact that I could have these fears. And shadowy Pisces can be that I like to indulge myself in relationships, maybe even at a job. If I'm working in one job, friendship, or relationship, and things are moving forward, and the people I'm in a relationship are kind of stressed out about moving forward with me, and they're kind of disappointed in the Five of Cups that I don't really work with them cooperatively, or I try to use my emotions kind of more manipulatively in a relationship, or I'm kind of a little more emotionally shallow and superficial. The Five of Cups and Scorpio energy and shadow can represent that. That there's people in the world who've already closed out being in a relationship with me and they moved on. They decided to offer love to their own emotional nature, to treat themselves with love and respect, and that love in Libra and Taurus energy and Cancer energy is supposed to be just and fair. And life's about learning lessons. In tarot, we have the pages, the knights, the kings, the queens, the emperor, and the empress. And some people tried to create an illusion that, nope, I've moved on from those things of the past. Yep, that didn't work. Look at me. I'm a king of cups. Male or female. I'm this person. I'm not a page. I'm not a knight. I've learned these lessons in life. I've worked through my regrets of the past. I'm no longer an illusion. I'm not creating an illusion. I'm not stressed about love. No, I want to move forward in a new relationship or take this job. Oh, yeah, I'm sad that other situation didn't work out, but that's over. And then they try to create this illusion, which the masculine figures in tarot can just represent how people present themselves in the world, because that's considered masculine energy. because people really don't know how we think and feel, which is represented by the feminine figures. And some people are presenting themselves like a loving family person. Emotionally, I'm this just and fair person who acts with character and integrity, and I walk the talk. I am who I say I am. But it's not, it's just an illusion they create for some. Some people really are who they say they are. But other people, emotionally, in their Libra Taurus energy within themselves, which everybody in the world taps into Libra Taurus energy, they're really kind of more about, I think I can just present myself as being that kind of person. Kind of wearing a false mask, which is operating more from your egoic nature. Shadowy Leo energy. And then they try to move forward in a relationship to let go of some of these issues from their past. Don't pay attention to it, ignore it. Hide that they're really kind of more immature than they say they are. And it could be more about indulging themselves in a relationship. But until the people that they're in a relationship with kind of see through the illusion, which eventually, and it can take time because some people wear a very good false mask. Some people could put really inspired by their job and their career, so they definitely could have stability and security. And, they're moving forward in their relationship with you, or you're moving forward in the career and they're moving forward with you. But, if they are kind of more immature, you're going to see that. But for a long time, we don't want to see the truth of it because we want it to work out. So even though we could be kind of stressed and like, oh no, is this going to work out? And I don't know, they maybe do these things in the Five of Cups that I think are kind of hurtful or unkind, or seems like they're trying to maybe manipulate the love that I have for them to kind of manipulate me and try to get me to indulge them in poor behavior, or just feeling like it's not really balanced or authentic, or it doesn't seem like the relationship is growing and maturing over time, and maybe repeating some poor past patterns. And then it's kind of like, you can put up with it for a long time because the high vibe people really had moved on from something in their past. I am putting in work and effort to make this work, and that's what high vibe people do. They are inspired to put in work and effort. That's like high vibe Libra, Taurus, Virgo. I put in work and effort to, and also high vibe Capricorn, to make things victorious and successful. And I put work and effort, and I'm loving and encouraging to maintain balance within the relationship and to keep moving things forward. And so you can be in the relationship for quite a long time. But maybe there kind of gets a point in the relationship where, we've all got some fears and insecurities and self limiting beliefs and the moon card. And we've all had things happen in our past that kind of could have made us have a little bit of lack mentality and not feel good enough and stuff like that. And some people, when they're in an environment that seems to have stability and security in a lot of ways, seems to be just and fair, and people are in general kind of seeming to enjoy the relationship and the friendship and kind of being loving and encouraging, that's when some people do start to do some of that work within themselves. And that's what Virgo energy talks about. I don't want some of these issues that I carry around with me that I kind of keep buried beneath the surface, and my regrets of the past, and to degrees that I'm not loving and encouraging of myself. I'm going to start doing some of that work within myself because I want to let those things go. I don't want those things to kind of keep manipulating me. And that's hard work. And that's why some people could start to do it, but then they kind of give up and it's like, nah, That's okay. I don't got to do it. You know, even if a person were to drive around in their car, if they're out somewhere where, or they're just talking softly to themselves if they're out on a walk, but it's basically like venting all the things in your life that really made you mad and hurt you, and how you wish, um, that other people in the Five of Pentacles talking about change, that you wish those people would have changed, some of the people in your life, and you wish that they had done some of this work within themselves, and they'd grown up and matured themselves, and they'd gotten over their heartbreak of the past, and they had put more work and effort to work through their fears and insecurities and get more balanced within themselves. And then, kind of, as you work through all that, you kind of realize that, you know, that's kind of the process that you're doing within yourself, because really the only person that you can change is you. And as you kind of work through venting those emotions and kind of work through all your fears of, like, well, what if I did this and what if I did that, what would people say, and why do I care what people say, and why don't I live my more authentic life, which is high vibe Leo. And you kind of come to the conclusion that, you know, just like I have those feelings and those issues from my life, the people I could have grown up with, the people I've been in relationship with during my life, they all kind of went through to their own unique experiences, and they either had the free will to do this work within themselves or not. And if you do the work within yourself to free yourself from those things, it's not an easy process. Probably a lot of crying, and it's like a grieving process of the tower, of letting all those things go, and the past pain and heartbreak, and then you could have people in your life that you really love that aren't in your life anymore, and that can really be hard to kind of take over that role within yourself, and not having some of those people. And so, again, if you've ever heard about the 7 stages of grief, whichever way it is, it's a very difficult process. And then the people who have went through it, I think they end up having a lot more compassion, and just kind of look at life from a different perspective than they did before. Their philosophy of life has changed because they know how hard it was for them to work through it, and they can kind of see and understand why some other people in their life and some people in their life aren't doing it. And we wish them peace, but I don't want to live my life like that anymore, and I don't want those things to keep manipulating me. I'm going to offer truth and love to people in my life to see if they want to move forward with me and work together with me cooperatively in a just and fair and authentic and loving way. And if not, I'll be sad. But I'm not going to keep indulging people in poor behavior. If they want to make their life more about the things of the world or what they think is most important in their life, then I'll let you make those things more important. Because high vibe energy, again, is about balance. We all want these things of the world. Can we extend grace to people when they're going through difficult times, or they really got to put in work and effort to get things going in their life or their career? Yes. But then there can come a time where it's like, if things don't get a little more balanced, you know, in the Five of Cups, it can feel like I'm missing an opportunity in love, because I could kind of feel like these other things that you would like to more invest your time, energy, and effort into, for whatever reasons, if it's other people, if it's uh, things that you make more important in your life, or you being more important in your life, or things you like to indulge in to make yourself feel better. You know, it's kind of seeing the truth of, I'm ready to move forward in a more balanced, authentic, loving relationship. And some people, that's not a priority in their life, and it may never be a priority in their life. Some of those people could be stressed that some of the people in their life are moving on, but they could really have, high vibe energy is also being more independent. That's also high vibe Virgo. But it takes work and effort to work through, again, why we could be more codependent on other people in our life, whether it's our friend group or our original family or our more worldly egoic nature. Why do I make what I wear or what I look like or how much attention I get out in the world or how I think people view me or how much money or status or power I have? Why do I let that be so important in my life that it kind of throws my life out of balance and it throws my relationships out of balance? Or why do I make these things I might indulge in so important in my life? Why don't I work through those issues? Life is to be enjoyed. The world is meant to be enjoyed. But when we make certain things other than love and treating ourselves and respecting ourselves in love, go enjoy the world in moderation. But maintain balance within yourself. Don't make those things so important in your life that, and some people, know that, we've all been more immature. We've all maybe been shadowy Taurus, can be more stubborn. We all had to learn to love ourselves. We have all repeated past patterns. And we'll all keep repeating past patterns and having a way of viewing life that we think is just and fair until the tower is like the universe trying to show people this isn't going to work out the way you think it's going to work out. you know? But our shadow nature, kind of represented by the devil at the big picture, we'd all like to get reward without effort. We'd all kind of like to be indulged. Can I work here, get paid a bunch of money, and I really don't have to show up or put in much work and effort? That'd be great. But that's not the way the world works. Can I be in a relationship, and how about you be just and fair and loving and act with character and integrity, and I get to go be immature? That'd be great. How about I never work through my fears and insecurities and keep focused on all the things that have happened, and you keep being loving and encouraging, and I never have to focus. In the Five of Cups, the person is more focused on the things in the past that didn't work out than living in the present moment and looking to the future with some hope and faith and belief and love. How about I keep focused on all the things bad that have happened and you be loving and encouraging, and I just get to keep moving forward with you? Won't that be great? And eventually the people that have worked through those issues want to be in a relationship with other people that have worked through those issues. And just like, maybe different emotional maturity levels. When we were 15, it was great to be 15, but then we decided to quit being like a 15-year-old and put away our more 15-year-old ways of being to be like an 18-year-old. And then we did the same thing when we became 21. And it's just like we can have people in our life that, they have some ways of being that, we can relate. Hey, I've been there. Do I want to keep being in that kind of environment or living my life that way or hanging out that much with people who do? No. I kind of worked through that of my own, and I've kind of moved on, and now I kind of like to be in a relationship with people who are at that next level of a maturity level, whatever that could be. At one time I thought that was just and fair, and I don't anymore. So I think for some people that have already kind of, seen some situations, either habits or patterns or whatever ways of thinking or treating yourself that you realized wasn't moving your life forward, or people or activities or something, it's like, you know what? I wish peace and love to it, but I want to move forward in life differently. If you want to move forward in life differently, but it has to be just and fair. And it has to be people acting with some character and integrity and people being authentic. And if it's going to be a more romantic relationship, I need people who really are who they say they are. If I'm being authentic and I'm authentically, because that's high vibe Leo, instead of operating from my more defensive egoic nature, I really am motivated and inspired by love. And I want to be in relationships with people because I like to be in a relationship with people. And I love being in the energy of love. And I love having fun with my friends and fun with the people that I'm in relationship with. And I like to be in jobs with people who are loving and encouraging and supportive. You know, we all thrive best in that environment. It's just that some people want to come with, but they don't want to be in that energy. But they want to come with. It's like the Five of Pentacles. But I want to come with anyway. But you're going to keep doing this? How is that just and fair? Well, you're supposed to indulge me. Well, I don't want to indulge you. You know, go find some people who are more into that, want to hang out with people who are like that. Can I still be a loving, encouraging person in your life? Could you be my adult child, my brother, my sister, my parent, a coworker, ex love interest, or whatever? Can I wish you the best and treat you in a just and fair and encouraging and loving, supportive way when I see you out? Yeah. Do I want to be in a more involved relationship with you? No. The world is like, the world talks about if people haven't learned the lessons they were meant to learn, they're still like viewing life and living life from a certain perspective that they think is just and fair. And as long as they have that perspective, that's kind of their truth of what they think is just and fair of how to conduct themselves in workplaces, friendships, and relationships. We kind of have a different idea of what we think is just and fair. And I feel, and some people right now could, it's kind of like the tower can be kind of in a way in the world, kind of like Judgment Day. And that's what some people, and we've probably been there too, um, when we're not willing to deal with the truth and we have some healing and growing and maturing to do, we can have loving and encouraging people in our life. But there comes a day where people are like, that was the last day. One more time before I close this out, because I would like to work together with you. I would like this to move forward. One last time they communicate to someone, you know? And then in the Nine of Swords, which is Gemini energy, I'm going to listen to my intuition. And the High Priestess can be about kind of just sitting back and observing the actions that people choose to take, how they choose to respond, what they choose to invest their time, energy, and effort into. And I'm no longer going to stay in denial of the truth. Even though I might not want to see the truth, I'm going to deal with the truth. And the truth is, maybe in our Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn energy, in our more worldly nature of self, of what we think is just and fair, or one person likes, is more caught up in themselves or the world, or kind of operating from their more defensive egoic nature, and other people in their Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn energy are more aligned with their more being free of being in their more defensive egoic nature, or more about the world. And though people are sad, some people are going to say, I wish you peace, but I'm moving on. Sometimes things didn't work out with some people in our life. We would have really liked those things to have worked out. Some people already closed out that chapter in their life, moving forward in their new chapter of life. And then someone from their past could communicate with them, I don't view life the way I used to view life. I got out of this friendship, this relationship. And some people could communicate with those people. Hopefully the high vibe people, because the pentacle can be that the other people also reached out and communicated. The pentacles can be about bringing something into the 3D, and the wands and the swords can talk about communication. And that could have been shock for some people. And some of you, as you're moving forward, you could have someone from your past reach out to you. It could be a shock. We could have love for people. Again, it can be all these different people in our life, right? Some people were sad about how a relationship ended. They're glad that some people got out of some situations that they were in. And they were maybe also kind of curious. The high priestess and the moon can kind of talk about, I kind of want to know the truth of why didn't things work out when we were friends, or why didn't that work out? Or, I left that job and now you finally left that job. Something, whatever. Some people would go communicate with people just because, wishing people the best, wanting to find out what happened. And the people might tell them, all these things. And, I'm moving forward in life differently. And now some people could feel like those people are on the same page as them. You could be moving forward, and now some people could communicate with you and you feel like they're on the same page. You would listen to your intuition, though. Who do I think did heal and grow and mature themselves? Who didn't? Who's really not quite revealing the truth? And might hope just because I have love for them, or if it's romantic, that I was attracted to them, and I always kind of wanted a relationship to work out with them. Who do I think is trying to kind of manipulate me and confuse me about the truth? And who do I think is being truthful and honest? And I think for whoever it is that could have someone who reveals a truth to them, it could really get them up in their head. Because even if people aren't in a new relationship, they could feel like, yeah, they really kind of had accepted that was over. They had done this work. I didn't want it to end, but, if I'm going this way and they're going that way, and, we're not moving forward together, well, eventually, we kind of work through accepting that is in our past. But then some people could be pretty stressed out and wonder, could a relationship be reconciled? I think regardless, people should listen to your intuition, and then you got to consider how you are living your life and who you are moving forward in your life. People can be happy, people can be balanced, but if people aren't in a relationship, and it's like, I've been looking since that, it could have been different relationships in the meantime, but if sometimes people can part ways and you're kind of like going through parallel life experiences, and then you come back together and you kind of are on the same page. You just had to do that growing and learning and maturing with other people. And maybe now you've all grown up and matured yourself, and could be ready to get back in a relationship. Now, some of you, if that was you, because I do think high vibe people, when they kind of learn these lessons in life, they kind of get out of their ego and they accept, I had lessons to learn and I had my own healing and growing, and I could have been repeating some patterns. And there were some friends and people in my life that, I didn't pursue more friendship or relationship with them because I was on my own journey to learn these lessons, and now I did. And so then I might communicate with some people in my life that I did learn these lessons, and yeah, they might be shocked to hear from me. And I'm going to listen to my intuition about anybody who wants to come towards me, because some of those people could be like, yeah, I feel like I missed an opportunity. I wanted to maybe be in a romantic relationship with you. But you kind of can tell that they basically want to do the same kind of relationship, like one that you got out of. I was like, no, I already been there and done that, and I've kind of grown up and matured myself. I don't want to go back to that. And then some of those people can be sad because it's like, oh, well, I was always hoping you'd get out of that relationship. And then I'd get in a relationship with you, but I thought you were going to still be back here. Or if you got out of something and you were kind of unstable and you were stressed and you felt left out in the cold, hey, maybe even if I am in a relationship, maybe I'll come indulge in one with you. And then some of those people could have been shocked that, oh shit, you really have kind of healed and grown and matured. And some of those people, sometimes when you went on your journey, other people seem like they were kind of going on a parallel path, life journey of their own, but they didn't learn some of the lessons that you learned. So then it's kind of like, oh, no, I guess you're someone that'll have to be put in my past too, because, and then some of those people are like, shit. Because maybe sometimes we all have free will when a relationship ends to go repeat some old patterns and not do this work within ourselves to heal and grow and mature ourselves. And other people did. And other people are making those choices right now. And you probably know some people in your life that aren't healing and growing and maturing while you're kind of doing that work. And just like they didn't, some other people in the world didn't. And they could be people from your past, they could be people in your present, they could be people that you meet in your future. Because there's always going to be more immature people in the world who just want to be the next person to kind of indulge in a relationship with you. And I think some people, again, because we tend to view life the way we view it and live life the way we live it, and we could think it's a blast and we think it's just and fair, then some people who might see you moving forward in life, that you've detached from something, well, they're under the illusion that you kind of think like they think. Oh, look. Oh, yeah, I had a relationship that ended too. Yeah, I'm kind of stressed and I don't like being left out in the cold and I'm sad. You want to get in a relationship and we'll move forward in a relationship. It's like, because I'm stressed or because I feel left out in the cold or because I'm sad. No, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone for those reasons. And I don't want someone to be in a relationship with me for those reasons. And then those people are like, whoa. And they could not get it either. It's like, I don't understand. This is how I live my life. I maybe never grow up and heal and mature myself. This is life, man. Why aren't you wanting to be in a relationship or hang out with me or do these things? And then some of those people are sad. And it's kind of like, shit, when I maybe had the opportunity to be in a relationship with some people, and we could be sad too, because some people have moved on and we're sad. Why didn't I? When I had the opportunity, I wish I would have seen the truth. Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda. And then we have to believe that the divine has a plan for our life, that God really knows the truth of everyone. God knows what you're motivated and inspired by and what your dreams are. God knows what theirs are. And some people came in our life to kind of be good examples. Are they maybe a good example in our life now? Maybe then they were, but it still can be something to aspire to. And, just keep living your truth. Keep not letting immature people in the world, hurtful people in the world, don't let people stress you out, people who try to manipulate you. See the truth of it. You've learned all these lessons in life, is what Virgo talks about. No more kind of caught up in the illusion. People have free will to either work together with you in a just, fair, balanced, loving, authentic, encouraging way, or people can do all this manipulative, kind of immature bullshit, hoping that because you're someone who's loving, they think they should be able to manipulate you, and it'll really bother you that they're kind of not working together with you in a more just, fair way, and that you'll put a lot of work and effort to try to get them to like you. And it's like, I've already tried to change people, and I'm done trying to change people. I go out in the world, I treat people the way I like to treat people. If people don't want to interact with me in that way, thank you for showing me I'm intuitive that you're kind of immature. I don't have to tell you that. I just accept what you're putting out there. And, anybody who's kind of more immature, bossy, controlling, uh, full of themselves, whatever. It's like, okay, I'm just going to deal with the truth of it. I'm going to keep moving on. That's too bad. It'd be nice to have more people in the world that you can work together with, that you can get along with in a just and fair and balanced way. But I see they aren't really who they present themselves as being. And out of love for myself, I'm going to keep taking action to keep moving forward, looking for the other people and communicating more with the other people. And the people in my life who are in that energy, who are loving and encouraging to me, to like I'm loving and encouraging to them. We can all be sad that there's people in our community, at our workplace, in our family who don't work together with you like that. And it's like, let them do them. We don't have to invest more time, energy, and effort into them than we have to, and we'll keep moving forward. And I think as you move forward in that energy, the people who there's always going to be shadowy people who, like I say, want to be another person to indulge in a relationship with you. And you can always get to know people to find out. And then as time goes by, if you realize that, yeah, I don't think so, I'm not feeling it, and I don't think we're kind of on the same page, or I think you are kind of more superficial or shallow or immature or manipulative or full of yourself, I'm going to wish you peace, and I'm going to focus my attention on some other people. And there's going to be other people that are in your life, presently in your life, people that you're going to meet that have went through similar experiences like this and see that you have too, and they like and appreciate people who are more authentic, insightful, mature, balanced, authentic. They know there's other shadowy people, that they could get in relationship with. They know you could indulge yourself or go indulge someone else if you wanted to live your life like that. But you're not. Because you've already learned, if I kind of plant bad seeds or repeat some of those old patterns, it's just both people have to be kind of working together from truth and love, or it's just going to end up kind of, you can go do things to feel better, short-term gratification, but it kind of destabilizes you in a way, and all it does is cause stress and gets you attached to people you shouldn't be attached to begin with, and then you got to do the whole damn process all over again. It's like, I'm just not doing it anymore. If people want to work together, I'll go enjoy my life and my friends and my family if I'm not in a romantic relationship. And if I am in a romantic relationship, hopefully me and the people that I'm in relationship with, we've all learned these lessons that if I have people in my life who are authentic and just and fair, I appreciate them because I haven't appreciated people in my past, maybe, or other people didn't appreciate me. To think you can kind of cheat the justice system and indulge in some immature ways of being and think it's all going to work out okay, you're kind of living in fantasy land. And so there's people in the world, in their friendships and their family dynamics and their romantic relationships. Can we all be attracted to other people? Sure. Oh, damn, you're not in a relationship, you're single? Damn. But, and if people realize, I'm not living my truth and I've been moving forward in things that I shouldn't be moving forward with, I'm going to close out that and let them move forward, and I'm going to go hang out with some people who I think are more on the same page as me. It can be frustrating, I'm sure, for people listening to this reading, but the whole thing is try to keep people maintaining balance. Otherwise, you listen to tarot readings like, oh my God, they're coming back. They're closing out the cycle. They love you. And you go on this emotional roller coaster. Keep putting in work and effort, being inspired to work through your regrets. If people aren't working together with you, quit being an illusion. If they were motivated and inspired by what you want to give birth to emotionally, they would. For some of them, that is not their truth. Can that be stressful, giving up that dream? Yes. But we can keep being sad, hoping one day other people change. And they already showed us their truth. So have hope and faith and belief that your dreams can only come into reality with people who are kind of more on the same page as you and are willing to work together with you on that dream. And it's like your high vibe energy sitting over here waiting for you to work through this process so that you can go give birth to what is just and fair. But we are these emotionally complex human beings. That's what Scorpio talks about. And it does take time. And when you're ready, you'll be ready. And some of you are ready because you went through all this process of healing from that. And you are ready to go on this new journey. And while you go on this new journey, some of the people in your life are going to go repeat this old pattern. And then they'll wonder why it turned out the way it did and it kind of blew up in their face and didn't work out the way they wanted. Because either they're trying to get someone to change or they're trying to get someone to indulge them in their shadowy ways of being. And some of those relationships are ending. And then some of those people might think, oh, I know, I'll contact this person and I know they love me. I bet they'll come back and get in a relationship. And some of you, it will be very hard to close out that cycle. But if your intuition that you've learned to listen to now, you might have gotten out of some of those things or quit doing some of those things. But I think there is a lot more lessons that you haven't learned yet that you're not, and I could feel like you're not wanting to reveal the whole truth. Well, then I wish you peace. And some of those people will be sad that they can no longer use the love that you had for them to manipulate you. And they're going to have to go and find someone else to go manipulate. So what's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Leo? We have the Tower, the Ace of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the Emperor. Why? Because of the Four of Swords, which also is Libra energy. You've healed. And other people have healed. Other people have seen the truth about people who are not operating from truth and love or justice and fairness. And you saw the truth, and the truth sets you free to have a new beginning, to detach from people in your life who have a different idea of what they think is just and fair. And you've learned to listen to your intuition. And then the Emperor talks about having learned all these lessons where you're making really good decisions in your life and you want to be in relationships with people who have grown up and matured themselves. The Emperor harnesses all four, has learned these lessons in all four suits: the heart, the mind, the 3D world, and the passionate nature. They really are who they say they are, because the counterpart to the Emperor is the Empress. Being in relationships with other people who are balanced. They are who they say they are. They have learned these lessons. They have emotionally probably driven their life off into the ditch at times, letting their heart run their life, letting their mind run their life, letting their fear, letting their lust, letting their greed. And they've learned all these lessons emotionally, and now they're this emotionally mature, stable, grounded person who's just and fair and balanced within themselves, who has learned that love, and they've learned to love themselves so they can love others. And that's the kind of people. And as you're doing that within yourself, it can be shocking to some people because some of those people, shadowy energy can be where people are putting in all this work and effort to create an illusion of how wonderful their life is, and look what I'm doing, and look who I'm in a relationship with, and look at what I'm indulging in, or whatever. And while they're kind of creating this illusion, because shadowy energy is creating an illusion, not really from love, but for all these other reasons, some people could be shocked when you have this new beginning, even if it's you moving forward in your life, detaching from something, getting a new job, being inspired to keep moving forward in your life. When some people thought for sure you'd go repeat some old pattern or go back and get in some old relationship, and you keep not doing it. And then that could be when some people do see the truth. Because there can be other people who'd like to be in a relationship with people, but they don't want to get in a relationship with them if they think those people really haven't closed out that old chapter in their life. And then when they see that, you're not repeating some of those old patterns, you're not getting back in some of those old relationships, that's when some people see that I think you are telling the truth and you are moving forward in life differently. And then they're ready to heal and be in relationships with you. So yeah, it could be a shock for some people that, because some people thought, oh, you won't love and believe in yourself. I know you love me. I know you wanted this dream to come into reality. But instead of treating you in a just and fair and loving way, they could have acted in these immature ways to try to cause you stress and hurt and make you feel left out in the cold, basically to tear down your foundation of loving and believing in yourself, so you would indulge them in that more shadowy way of being in a relationship. And every day they were doing that was every day you saw that our truth is different. People who love me don't treat me like that. People who are just and fair treat people in a just and fair way. People who have character and integrity treat people in a way with character and integrity. People who are loving and love people offer them love. And you're doing all these things because you have this way of viewing life, or things you need to work through that you're not willing to work through. And all of this to try to manipulate me to do it this way. I'm not doing it that way. You can do it that way. I'm giving birth to something new. And then those people are stressed and feeling left out in the cold and wish they would have worked with you more cooperatively. But because they're probably not willing to get out of their ego or reveal the truth, they're going to go repeat that old pattern, probably with someone else. What's coming up for some people who harness some more worldly, shadowy Leo energy that they might not see coming? Oh, and it might surprise you as you're in this energy of peace and healing, that you might be surprised. There might be someone who you view as a counterpart that either you could be working with or that somehow you'll meet as you go on your new adventure. And they could communicate with you that maybe they just like to get to know you. Some of them might be going through similar experiences and know that you went through a similar experience and kind of wondering, how you work through it, that you seem to be moving forward. It's just like anybody who goes through some disruptive life experience. That how did you do that? Even if moving to a new town and now they move to that town, it's like, how did you settle into this new town? How did you meet people? And if you're into it, it can just be being friends with someone, and helping other people work through their issues. And it could be a good new beginning. someone who seems to be a good counterpart to you, whether it's a friend or a romantic interest if you're not in a relationship. What's coming up for the more worldly, shadowy Leo energy? Okay, I have a card not showing itself, and the reason is got a lot of Libra energy in this reading. The King of Swords, which I view as Libra energy. So I do view Libra energy of the King of Swords, which any of us can harness, can be that we're in our more self-protective nature. Nope. I want to be in relationships with people, but I don't really want to do love. I could get hurt doing love. I have fear of love. And for some people, you know, the more you kind of let yourself go out to play in the world, your more authentic, loving nature, uh, the more you know how to pick yourself back up when things don't work out. And some people have less experience that than other people. And so they could feel like they wouldn't be able to pick themselves back up, So I guess so long as they keep deciding that, or they might have to get in relationships with people who are more on the same page as them and kind of gradually learn some of those lessons together. But um, some people, nope, some people in air sign energy, they might just like to live more from their mind than their heart. I don't want to listen to my intuition. That does not, and my emotional nature, it doesn't really inspire me. I'm more motivated by the world. Do I want to be in relationships with people? Yeah. Do I really want to do love? No. Can I be in a relationship with someone? Yeah, so long as that person is willing to indulge the fact that at a core foundational level in my free will of Gemini, it's not love that drives and motivates me. I operate more from my worldly, which can be our more egoic nature, whether people are male or female. Can I work together with you in a relationship? Yeah. I will maybe very much enjoy being in a relationship with you, maybe sexually. But really, authentically more doing love? No. Can I be just and fair and work together with you in a lot of ways? Yeah. But I'm going to wear my false mask. And if they can find someone who wants to be in a relationship with them being like that, then they found the right type of person for them. Some other people who have been in relationships with them felt like they were missing an opportunity in love being in a relationship with someone who won't really kind of let their more authentic nature. It's like their authentic nature looks out through the eyeballs, wishing it could come out to play in the world, but their more self-protective, defensive nature runs their life. It's in the driver's seat of their life. And they're just along for the ride. Their more authentic nature. Their more authentic Leo nature doesn't get to come out in the world because their more egoic Leo nature runs their life. And then some people, their truth is, I am more about the world. I want more than what I have. If I like to go indulge in things to make me feel better, that's my truth. That's what I'm going to go indulge in. If I'm more about money and materialism and status and image, I don't feel I got enough. And I don't know if I move forward with people who are loving and just and fair. If I was to be that way, I don't know that I would have those things, and those things are more important to me. And that's what I'm going to go focus my energy on. And if I have those things, I think I should be the indulged, that's shadowy empress. I want to be indulged in a relationship. And that's shadowy Taurus philosophy of relationships. Whoever has more of these things of the world, they should be the person who's kind of the more indulged person in the relationship. You should indulge me. I don't really care if you're sad. It's really more about me. Don't you want these things of the world that I have? I look like I have justice in the world. And for some people, it's money. But for some people, look, I'm really attractive. Look at my social clout. Look, I have all this friend group. Look, I have power. Look. And then, if other people really want that or make that valuable, well, then I guess those people will indulge them in a relationship because those people have those things and they think if I have those things, I think it's just and fair that people should indulge me in a relationship for those things. And then people who kind of think that way, well, if I have it, I want to be indulged. If that didn't work out, well, then maybe I'll go indulge someone else who might have more of those things than I have, because, I mean, that is life, right? Isn't that what's just and fair? For some of these people, they might have it kind of switch up on them where they thought, well, this is just and fair. This is how relationships work. And, well, if you're not willing to indulge me, I'll go indulge someone else for those things. Then they might kind of realize what it's like to be on the other side. Maybe they weren't able to see it, you know? And maybe if some of those people saw the truth and communicated with you, now I've seen it. I don't know, depending on how they acted, some of you might be like, that is too different of a way of viewing life, and that doesn't happen overnight. And some of you, by the time some of those people, if they were to learn that lesson, you've already moved on a new beginning with someone else, and you're committed to that relationship because you did this work within yourself to come kind of to a place of peace about the fact that you let that relationship go. And now I'm investing in this new relationship. But for some of the shadowy people, they keep looking at life the way they look at it, which is hiding that they harness this energy in a shadowy way. The Star card, it's more about them or about looking like a shining star in the world. And because of that, they could have some other people in their life. This is Libra and that's Aquarius. They're going to have some high vibe people in their life that harness that energy in a more high vibrational way. And those people in their life, whether again, brothers, sister, friends, family members, romantic interests, that would like them to move forward with them. They're being loving and encouraging, but these people just don't want to see the truth. Don't want to deal, either they're immature or they're materialistic or they're bossy or they're egotistical or all about themselves or something, and they don't want to see the truth of it. And some of the other people in their life kind of see the truth. And some of those people are like, you know what? You do you. I'm done trying to change you or get you to grow up or look at life differently. You go make those things important in your life. And then the people who are going to stay in their life could be other people, high vibe Aquarius. Some people don't look at life from a higher perspective. There is no point than being on this planet than about us having a certain status and image in the world, to look like a shining star and to indulge ourselves in all these things that we think make us important or will make us happy. But they're just still people that are just really caught up in the illusion. And they probably do have a lot of stress and maybe fear, and they're trying to emotionally manipulate people. The people they get in a relationship with are trying to emotionally manipulate them. Could just be being in a relationship and making your life about being in a relationship because a different relationship didn't work out. And for others, it's more about the ego and the image. And yeah, I'll indulge you for those things. And yeah, those things are important to me too. And it's maybe not really what they dreamed of having in their life at one point in time. But somewhere along the way, they gave up on believing in their dreams. And part of it could have been because that required them to grow up and mature themselves. And that takes work and effort. And it's like, we'll just make our life about these things. And we'll look like shining stars in the world. And again, some people aren't inspired to even look at life from a higher perspective. I don't think there is any higher truth or justice to aspire to. The problem with that is I do think this game of life is kind of like for us to have free will to see the truth that love is what makes it all worthwhile. And I think they're going to have either feel very unstable within themselves or get in these more unstable relationships or just keep being very unstable within themselves because love is what makes us feel more balanced and stable within ourselves. But they, again, could think that's not my job for some reason. No, other people are supposed to love me. And so they go out in the world trying to find people to love them, and that makes them a little bit more about themselves. And then other people they get in a relationship with kind of see the truth of it, or it is more about the ego or an image or the fear or the past pain and heartbreak that they never worked through. Because some people do look to other people to get in a relationship like, you are supposed to be the answer to my problems. Some people's vices, drugs, and alcohol. That's not mine. I get in relationships. You are supposed to be the answer. And people can be loving and encouraging, but nobody can make all these issues go away except them. But for some reason, they could just be an immature, really codependent person and maybe grew up with people who kind of indulge them in that way. And they keep thinking, no, 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 I'm not the answer. Not me. I don't hold the key to free myself. But they do. But they keep thinking, no, not me. Someone else is the answer. So they might keep chasing people all their life and it never works out the way they want because the answer isn't outside of them. The answer lies within them. And then they would be ready to be in a relationship. So there you go, Leo. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.